that I would get back in the car.
After an operation, the San Remo rally was only 10 days away, and Colin still had a chance to win the championship. Even with a metal plate holding his head together, he was determined to compete in Italy.
It was difficult. I think, of course, we did the recce, didn't speak about it, which is the best way, but we got to the situation where really we had to do the first stage. And I think once we've done the first stage, we competed, he'd driven, and it was a case of a big sigh. Yes, we're okay. We can still do it. It's fine. And to be honest, the rest of the event went very well. And I think shows the strength of the character to be able to go out there and fight to score 1 point at the end of it.
I mean, it was quite a tough point. I mean, even I underestimated how hard it was going to be.
That point was not enough. A new champion was crowned. 2000 was Marcus Gronholm's year.
The new world champion, Marcus Gronholm!
There's a lot of rallies that involve massive jumps, but are you going faster through the air or faster on the ground?
Depending really on the jump. If the car's already at high speed before the jump, you obviously keep the power on, and the car will jump a long way, but it's still doing a very similar speed in the air to it is in the ground. And it just all depends on the approach.
And what is the best approach for a jump? So a lot of people touch the brakes to compress the suspension?
Depends on the angle of the takeoff ramp. We're coming to a jump up here, and it's a very straightforward one just in front of us now. And I'm just keeping the throttle full on the floor. You felt the car jump very level there.
Yeah.
Next time we'll touch the brake just before and it'll nosedive. So you've got to know the angle of the jump and the landing as well.
So there is no one technique for one jump, they're all different?
They're all very, very slightly different, yeah.
And when you land, is your foot on the power?
If the car feels like it's going to nosedive, then you keep the power on. And the gyroscopic effect with the wheels turning keep the nose of the car in the air. If the car's going to land with its tail first, if you just let off the throttle or even touch the brake slightly, it drops in front of the car. The last time I come up to the jump, I kept the throttle on flat out all the way over. This time I'll let off and maybe even brake a bit and you'll feel the difference.
Oh, you're right, huge difference.
The nose drops a bit.
Wow.
And that's on a very small jump. When you get some of the jumps in Finland, if you get it wrong, you can land the car right on the nose.
Like Richard Burns did.
A bit like Richard did, yeah.
A new year, and Monte Carlo held no good omens. 2001 was another frustrating start.
Into 6 left, 50, 6 crest.
But by mid-season there was a fight on. Colin McRae versus Richard Burns, a battle of the Brits. Colin took first blood in Argentina and completed a hat-trick of wins.
I'm getting used to this. Well done.
But by the end of the year, Burns was only 2 points adrift. It came down to Rally GB.
Basically, it was whoever won the rally was going to win the championship. And, you know, for rally fans all over the world, that was a great situation.
Colin is a trier. I mean, he knew what he had to do on that event.
There are times when you can totally predict when Colin's going to make a mistake. When you're driving it absolutely at your limit and you're just getting away with things, and if someone is taking a few seconds off you, it means that they're on the limit as well, or over the limit.
The third stage, you know, I made a mistake, which is probably something that's going to stick with me for the rest of my life.
5 left plus cut.
I knew that the car was going to go deeper into the apex than what I had wanted it to. But, you know, you make that split-second decision to let it go, or you try and correct it, and there was space and time to correct it. But I made the decision to go with the line the car was going to take.
Into 6.
Unfortunately, in this case, it was probably 10 miles an hour too quick, probably 12 inches too much into the right, hit a bank, and that was it.
I knew at the time that the impacts that we were taking, the car wasn't going to drive again. So, you know, I knew even before the accident had ended that was the championship gone.
I can honestly say that the first thought I had when I passed him was, is he okay? Because it looked like an absolutely massive accident. But very quickly, within the next half a kilometre, I'd made a mistake myself, because I was just thinking, oh my God, all I've got to do really is get around here now, and I'm going to be world champion. And it's quite something to take in when you're trying to keep that car on the road as well.
Whilst Burns celebrated, others paused for thought.
I think to have seen Colin McRae win the World Championship in a Ford was the thing that not only I wanted, and not only that Colin wanted, but the whole company wanted, and I would suggest that the vast majority of rally fans wanted as well. So yes, it was a huge disappointment, but the person who probably felt it most was the guy driving the car.
70, 6 right over crest, 30, here 6 left, keep out, and left tightens to 4+.
So how far ahead of a corner do you need a pace note then?
It depends on the speed of the car. At the moment we're going at very slow speed, so I would want the corner just before I get to it. At a higher speed I obviously want the corner quite a bit further in advance. Sometimes at real high speed stuff, especially if it's very fast into a slow corner, I would have maybe 3 corners in advance, which makes concentration very difficult. You're driving the car and you've got to remember what the last corner is before you even get to the first of the corner that's been called.
I think anyone that watched your car would find it hard just to concentrate sat in an armchair trying to keep up with the pace notes in the road.
Again, it's a very personal thing as well. Every driver's pace note system is slightly different, and every driver wants it read slightly differently, so it is very, even for me, if I sit and watch the IMCAR from Richard Burns, I find it quite difficult to follow his notes.
So
obviously I'm not used to them.
Can you tell me how you would note this, as if we were on a racket?
That would be a long 2 left plus then 30, which is the distance to a slow 3 right, which is a slow third gear corner. Then we come into 5 right plus over crest.
Looks like it's going right to me.
Get it right.
So it's more descriptive.
It's I work in years of speed. So if we're coming to this corner down here, we tightens to 2 left, which is a second gear left, and 6 left, which is straight after it. It's not 6th gear, but it means I can go through it at full speed.
And if you cannot recce at rally speed, I guess, is it just experience that tells you how fast you can go through these corners?
Yeah, it's just experience. On this type of road today it's quite easy because it's all slow to medium speed corners. The problem is when you get into rallies like Finland, which is very high speed over blind crests, and also Germany, which is very wide and fast in places, trying to judge the speed that you'll actually be able to go around the corner in the rally car, considering in the recce you're going around it at between 60 to 100 kilometres an hour. You come in the rally, it might be 180 or 190 kilometres an hour. So to make that judgment is just down to experience, and sometimes we do get it slightly wrong.
– 2002 sees Colin challenging for the title again, but already there have been setbacks. The worst being on the treacherous roads of Corsica, yet again.
6 left, 53 left plus tightens, cut runs.
Colin's the guy who's pressing the pedals and turning the steering wheel. And in this case, just got a little bit mud on the tyres, got a little bit, probably a few inches too much out on the slippy tarmac, and just slid into a tree. You know, unfortunately for Colin, I mean, it was him who was injured again, and I would say very, very lucky there to get out with just a damaged finger, because, I mean, it could have been something far, far worse.
This time his injuries